Conservative and media viewers, JLin fans around the world, Charlotte Hornets fans around the world. What's up? It's me, PFA Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert, and we're here to discuss Charlotte's 87-82 victory today over the Milwaukee Bucks in, Charlotte, North Carolina. With the victory, Charlotte improved 10-7 on the season, and as well as 8-2 at home this season. Bucks dropped to 6-11 on the year. Bucks were led by Greg Monroe, 17 points, 10 rebounds. Chris Middleton added 19 points also. Charlotte got 22 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists from Kemba Walker. Al Jefferson, 1 point and 1 rebound. Al suffered a strained calf, and he had to leave the game relatively early, and he would not return. And Charlotte had to make do without him, which they were able to do. Marvin Williams, 12.7 rebounds. Nicholas Batum, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. However, Nicholas had 9 turnovers in this game. He really struggled in this game badly, although he did come through late. Jeremy Lamb, 14 points, 9 rebounds. JLin, 7 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Jeremy played 22 minutes, shot 1 of 4 from the field, including 1 of 1 from three-point range, 4 of 4 from the free throw line. No steals, no blocks, no turnovers. 3 personal fouls, and Jeremy's plus-minus was a +10. The reason why Charlotte won this game was because they outperformed Milwaukee down the stretch. This was a very close game in the fourth quarter, and it was Milwaukee kind of crawled back into it early in the fourth, and then Charlotte was able to outperform Milwaukee down the closing portion of the game. Also of note, Charlotte hit 15 three-pointers in this game out of 31 attempts, which is fantastic. I'm not going to go over too many statistics or whatever, because I want to talk about some things, and I know there's a lot of JLin fans who aren't thrilled about this game, whereas I'm incredibly happy about this game in terms of how Jeremy played, particularly in contrast with the Cleveland Cavaliers game the other night. Jeremy played outstanding in this game. The only thing you can quibble with at all was that he only hit 1 out of 4 shot attempts. That's totally irrelevant. He didn't turn the ball over, and he didn't force anything in this game. What happened to Jeremy in the Cleveland game, he played fantastic in the first 3 quarters. And then in the fourth quarter, in my opinion, he tried to do too much, which resulted in 2 quick turnovers. And then Coach Clifford took him out of the game, and that was the last you saw Jeremy in that contest. In this game, in the fourth quarter, Jeremy played more time. He almost closed out the game. Jeremy Lamb, who was taken out while JLin was kept in the game, Jeremy Lamb did come in for JLin with about 2.5 minutes left in this game. But JLin played the other, 9.5 minutes or so of the fourth quarter. So JLin got a lot of activity in the fourth quarter. Jeremy didn't try to do too much, and he didn't turn the ball over. He took and missed 2 shots in the fourth quarter, but they were both good shots, and they were very close to going in. They were just slightly off. If you're going to not succeed down the stretch, then take shots rather than turn the ball over. We've talked about that before with Jeremy, and that's what he did. And he allowed other players to kind of do their thing rather than Jeremy taking over or trying to take over. Now, here's why, and this is, like I said, this was I'm not saying that I only want Jeremy to shoot 4 times in a game, or I don't want him to finish the game on the floor, or I don't want him to touch the ball a lot and stand in the corner. That's not why I'm saying he played well. So I'm not saying that's my ideal scenario. What I'm saying is that given the circumstances and what Jeremy's role is right now, he performed it perfectly tonight. Absolutely perfect. And that is progress. And that's going to help him. One, it's going to help him become the player he wants to become in his own career, regardless of what team he's on. Number 2, it's going to help him further his progression in terms of how Charlotte and Coach Clifford views him. So what I'm telling you is, Coach Clifford has an idea of who he trusts late in these games, who he's going to go to, who can do what. And so Jeremy has to kind of work his way up that ladder. And the more that Jeremy plays like this, the more he's going to go up the ladder. Okay? So that's why I'm so happy. Plus, here's a reality. This is really important to understand. Certain players have certain capabilities. Okay? So certain guys are just, maybe they're really good at getting shots for themselves. Like they can get a type of a shot, like a good shot, better than another player can get a good shot because of their athletic ability or their height or whatever. For example, Kobe Bryant, before his Achilles tendon injury, he had so much elevation when he jumped for his jump shot that he could get, basically he was shooting with almost nobody guarding him because of how high he got on his jump shot. So he was capable of doing that in a way that other players are not physically capable of. Kemba Walker, because of how quick he is with his dribbling and his burst athletically, he can get wide open shots better than JLin can because of the difference in speed and burst and whatever. Now, Kemba's not the best shooter in the world, but in terms of the quality of the shot, Kemba can get better shots by himself than JLin can. So what I'm telling you is Jeremy's not always going to be the top shot creator in some of these circumstances on what teams that he's on, or he won't be looked at like that. This is why, and I've talked about this over the years, and I'm not saying this to put Jeremy down. I'm saying this to be realistic. You have to understand what you can do and what you can't do. And you have to understand that in relation to what other players are capable of doing. Jeremy's not Derrick Rose. He's not going to drive down the middle of the lane and dunk over 5 people on the opposite team. You have to know where your spots are. Okay? This is why I've said before that it's really important for Jeremy to continue to work on his outside shot. That's going to let him do more on offense, and it's going to get him the ball more in key situations. Now, Jeremy can drive to the rim great. He's excellent at that, one of the best in the league. However, he's still susceptible to turnovers in those situations. And again, he's not super explosive at jumping. So even though he can get to the rim, you still have to finish at the rim, which is why he's working on floaters and runners and so forth. All right? So you put those, just put innate characteristics and what guys can do and what they can't do, and then you combine that with Clifford's how he views his own team and who he trusts. So he's going to trust Kemba. He's going to trust Al Jefferson because he's used to them. He's predisposed to looking at Nick Batum as like a better option in terms of handling the ball and making decisions than Jeremy Lin, because Nick's taller. And so that gives him an advantage in terms of making passes. Just when you're bigger, you can make passes smaller guys can't make. You can see more, and you physically have advantages over smaller players. So this is all how Clifford views things. All right? And again, Jeremy Lamb is taller than Jeremy Lin is. He's taller. He has longer arms. He's probably a better jumper. And again, Clifford likes longer, taller players. So Jeremy Lin has to navigate all of this. And you have to work within Clifford's mindset and your own physical abilities and limitations. And so, again, with all of that taken into consideration, all of those factors, Jeremy Lin played about as perfect a game tonight as you could possibly play. And that's why I'm so happy. That's why I'm happy. And it's good for him. It's good for his statistics. It's good for his progression as an individual player. And it's good for how Clifford and the coaching staff is going to view him and how much they're going to trust him. Like I said, Jeremy Lin played 9 minutes of the fourth quarter tonight, at least. Okay, he didn't play 12 minutes, but he played most of the fourth quarter, and he played incredibly well. Not only, and I didn't mention this yet, the Milwaukee Bucks, while Jeremy Lin was in the game in the fourth quarter, they picked up 4 fouls in the fourth quarter, and Jeremy Lin drew all 4 of them. So that's critical, because then pretty soon you get the team in foul trouble, and your team is shooting free throws then once the team gets over 5 fouls in a quarter. So Jeremy just did so many good things in this game and did it in the fourth quarter. It's just great. Like I said, I can't change anything. I can't give Jeremy 20 more inches on his vertical jump. I can't make him 5 inches taller. I can't change how Steve Clifford views Jeremy Lin right now. And as I said before, I'm not saying that I want Jeremy to stand in the corner and not touch the ball and not shoot very much. But you have to work with your abilities and what your role is. And Jeremy did it perfectly tonight. And he did it much better than he did in the Cleveland game in the fourth quarter. And that's why I'm thrilled in this game. This will help set up better and better things for Jeremy Lin down the line, and it will give him a longer leash, so to speak, with Steve Clifford. And like I said, Jeremy Lamb and Jeremy Lin both started the fourth quarter, and the first person that came out in the fourth quarter was Jeremy Lamb, not Jeremy Lin, even though to that point in the game, Jeremy Lamb had better stats than Jeremy Lin did. So I think that tells you a lot of the respect, or whatever you want to call it, in terms of how Steve Clifford viewed Jeremy Lin in this game. He knew Jeremy played well in this game. Also, finally, Jeremy had the 5th most minutes played in this game tonight for the Hornets. Now, if Al Jefferson didn't hurt himself, then Jeremy would probably be number 6 in that, rather than number 5. But that's still pretty good. That's still like 6th man role. And I want to emphasize this one more time. I said it before, but I want to say this again. One of the things that has truly been a problem for Jeremy Lin in the past, and this is important to understand this, is that he gets too reckless. He does try to do too much. He does try to play Jeremy ball, high risk, high reward. And he'll do it in situations and times of the game when he shouldn't do it, like the fourth quarter. Maybe you can play like that in the second quarter, but you should not play like that in the fourth quarter. And that's why I say, if you're only if your physical capabilities are are such that that's the only way you think you can contribute, then you need to move the ball and step back on offense in crunch time. And that's what he did tonight. Like I said, I want Jeremy. I would love if Jeremy scored 20 points in the fourth quarter. But in order for him to do that, he has to continue to expand his skill set. Shoot the ball better. Shoot the ball better from three-point range, given the other physical abilities that Jeremy has and does not have. And that's what's going to help him to be able to do that. Jeremy is still a work in progress. He's still reaching his full potential, and he's not there yet. He still has to work on it, which is good because it means he's going to still get better. And learning to play more under control and more within himself is going to help JLin be a better player and reach his full potential. And that's another reason why I'm so happy tonight. Whenever everybody wants to be the man down the stretch, everybody wants to be the guy. Sometimes you can't be the guy for whatever the reason is. You just your limitations, or somebody else is trying to be the guy, or the coach trusts them more than you, and so they're going to get the ball more, whatever it is. So you need to be able to play the other role. You need to be able to play the not the guy role. Because if one person's the man down the stretch, that means four guys are not the man. So you have to be able to be the man, and you also have to be not the man. And sometimes that's been a problem for Jeremy. And that's why I love games like this, where you just blend in. Again, like I said, the point is not that I want Jeremy to be diminished or not shoot or whatever. The point is, the more he can play in different ways and in different styles and in different systems and in different speeds, the better he's going to be. And that means the more he's going to be on the court and the more chances he's going to get to be able to become the player that he wants to be and just get more playing time. And that's it. So I think coming into this game, coming into this season, the things I wanted Jeremy to work on the most were shooting from the outside, lower turnovers, and avoiding the reckless play or feeling like you have to take over. He did that perfectly in this game. No turnovers. Yeah, the shooting was off a little bit, but he hit the only three-pointer that he took, which is, again, the perimeter shooting. And he just went with the flow in this game. And he went with the flow down the stretch and didn't try to do too much. And that kept him on the court longer. And that helped him. That helps his statistics. It helped everything. So that's where I'm coming from. Like I said, I know a lot of people are upset. They wanted Jeremy to do more. They wanted him to touch the ball more. They wanted him to shoot more. We want to go back to insanity when everything revolves around Jeremy. That's not going to happen most times. At least right now, it's not. Look, I wish that Mike D'Antoni was coaching and that Jeremy was playing for him. And then that might happen a whole bunch more. But we're not done here. This doesn't mean that this is all Jeremy's going to be, because it's not all he's going to be. And there's going to be nights where Jeremy is the man, and he might not stay in Charlotte. He might go and play for another team. He's going to continue to improve his skills level. He's going to be able to shoot better. He's going to get better chemistry with teammates and so forth. He's going to get better. But even when you're the guy, even when you're great, you still have up and down nights. You still have some nights that are better than others. Then it becomes like kind of, what is your baseline level of performance? How do you play? Are you a high turnover player? Do you blend in well with other players? So when you don't have a great night, what do the rest of your statistics look like? You want to be low turnover, and you want to be able to just kind of fit in with good sync with other players who maybe they're having a great night, and you're kind of just stepping back. And that's the way Jeremy played in this game. He played some terrific defense in the fourth quarter as well. As I mentioned, he drew good fouls. He played smart. He did take some shot attempts and advantages in the fourth. He missed them. Doesn't matter. They were good shots, and they were in the flow of the offense. So Jeremy, like I said, to me, this is a huge step forward for him. Not that he can't play like this. Of course, he's capable of playing like this. But he did play like this rather than did not play like this, which is kind of what happened in the fourth quarter of the Cleveland game. So I'm thrilled. I'm happy. The team won. Jeremy played well, and he played well in crunch time, and Clifford kept him on the floor for most of crunch time. I'll take it. I'm not only will I take it, I'm thrilled about it. And so that's where I'm coming from. And that's it. And like I said, I understand. I mean, not everybody's going to agree with me. People think it's a step back, or they're phasing out Jeremy and this is what he's going to be. No. This is one stop on the bus ride. This is like a stop along the way to the destination. But you have to go through this to get to your destination. Jeremy has to have a less reckless game in certain aspects, and that's going to help him become the player that he's capable of becoming. That's why I like games like this. That's why I'm thrilled about games like this. And he learned. He made the adjustments after the Cleveland game. He learned from it. And this is how he was able to do what he did tonight, even though he didn't shoot a lot. He didn't touch the ball a ton at certain times. He still played great. He still played really well, and he absolutely helped the team win and was critical in helping the team win the game. So that's it. Now, we move on to possibly one of the toughest games of the season for the Charlotte Hornets. Probably will be one of the toughest games of the season. That's because the next game is against the Golden State Warriors, who are currently undefeated, 18-0 on the year. That game will take place on Wednesday, December 2nd here in the United States. And that means that the Hornets have 2 days off between now and that game, which is good. Look, they played well tonight. And let me say this. I should have said this earlier. When you play games in the afternoon, like today's game, and those games typically only happen on the weekends and usually only on Sunday, it throws off guys. This is why you get a performance like Nick Batum with 9 turnovers. Guys are used to playing at night. That's when they play the vast majority of their games. And so you're basically interrupting guys' sleep schedules, their routines, everything. This is where you tend to get weird games in these afternoon early games. And that's kind of what happened today. That's why it's so good that even though that was the case, Charlotte was still able to win the game. So that's really critical. Back to the Golden State game. Wednesday, December 2nd here in the United States, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That means the game will take place at Thursday, December 3rd, 8 a.m. in the morning in Taipei, Taiwan, and throughout China. I believe that it will be the time. Look, what can you say? Golden State's the best team in the league. They're phenomenal. I will say this, though. I do give Charlotte a real chance of being able to win that game. Now, I hope Al Jefferson's able to play in that game, because if he's not, then that changes things. That's going to give Charlotte, I mean, in some ways it helps them, but it hurts them in terms of depth and outscoring ability. In other words, the style that Charlotte has to play without Al Jefferson is good for playing a team like Golden State. However, Al Jefferson's an excellent player. If you lose him, things get tougher. The depth and the offensive ability of Charlotte is such that they actually can match up fairly well with Golden State, better than a lot of teams in the league can. So I hope Al was able to play that game. That would really be great. If Al's able to play and play at a decent level, I think you're going to see a real good game in that, where Charlotte might have a real chance to win that game. However, we'll see. I mean, I don't know if Al's going to heal up that quickly, so that might change things. Obviously, Golden State's going to be favored, and they should be favored. I mean, they're unbeaten. But I like the matchup, even though I haven't seen the two teams square off this year in terms of I do like the matchup. I really do. So that's what's coming up. And even if the Hornets were to lose that game, they'd still be 10-8. As I said, they've really done a great job on this homestand, winning games they should win. And now they have a little bit of a cushion. So even if they lose that, they're still 2 games over 500 and probably still would be in the playoffs or would be hanging around right on the fringe outside of the playoffs. This is what they have to do and where they want to be in order to make the playoffs this year. So I love where the team is at. They're playing great. The camaraderie on the team is excellent. You can see that they mentioned it during the broadcast on the Charlotte television network. Guys like each other. Things are good. Things are falling into place. Also, you could see JLin and Kemba's chemistry was good in this game. One of the reasons, and Steve Clifford mentioned this in the preseason or before the season began, one of the reasons they were happy about getting JLin, and one way that they wanted to use JLin was play him at the same time with Kemba and use JLin to help Kemba get better shots and easier shots. That's definitely happened in the last 2 games, where Kemba's running free and JLin gives him a nice pass for like a wide open shot. In this game, it happened particularly on one occasion where Jeremy passed the ball to Kemba wide open for a 3-pointer, and Kemba drilled it. So in other words, make things easier for Kemba in terms of getting shots. And Jeremy is doing a good job of that. And that's, like I said, that's part of what his role is on this team. And as we mentioned, Jeremy may not stay in Charlotte, and he doesn't have to stay in Charlotte. Maybe this isn't the right situation for him in the grand scheme of things. But still, you're here. You're in a contract year. Play well. Learn from assistant coach Steven Silas, whom Jeremy really likes. Learn from Steve Clifford, who I'm sure Jeremy respects. You have a great supportive team cast. So just make the best out of it and improve your own game, which is exactly what Jeremy did in today's game. He took a step forward in his own performance so that if you do move to a different circumstance, maybe you get to be the starter or maybe you get to play more minutes than what you're doing here. You're ready for that. Your game is prepared for that. And that's where things are heading. That's why today's a big step. Today's an important step. Just want Jeremy to keep playing like this. Just keep playing like this. And everything's going to work itself out, and he will be in an even better position. We don't know the future. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with Jeremy. There are a lot of talented point guards in the league right now, which means it's hard for Jeremy to get a spot right now, to get a starting spot. It's like one of the, there's probably more talented point guards in the league right now than at any point in the recent past, and more talent at point guard than talent at other positions. So it's kind of different. It's too bad Jeremy's in the league right now in that circumstance. However, the better he plays, The more he improves, the more chances he's going to get. The more opportunities are going to open up for him. And look, I know a lot of people, Jeremy's in his physical prime now and so on, and he is. However, point guard takes a while. Like, point guard's one of the slowest positions to kind of come into full bloom as a player. I don't think Steve Nash became like the best version of himself until he was about 30 years old, or something like that. So it's okay. Jeremy is, like I said, just keep progressing. Like I said, I know people are unhappy. They think, well, he's getting less minutes than any other circumstance, and man, Clifford's worse than even Byron Scott. And it's not about that. I'm trying totally honest here and totally serious. It's not about that. It's about improve as a player, and then you will get more opportunities. There's still a long part of Jeremy's career to come, provided that he stays healthy. Keep improving, and then you're going to get your opportunity. And when you get it, you're going to be ready for it. When Jeremy left New York and he went to Houston, now, certainly people that have listened to these videos for a long time know how I feel about Houston and the way that they treated JLin. But Jeremy's game wasn't complete when he went to Houston. What I'm saying is he wasn't ready to be a star in a system that wasn't geared for him, because there were still skill areas of his game that weren't there, like the left hand, like the perimeter shooting. So he wasn't ready for that. Now, he wasn't put in a great position to succeed, and James Harden had to have the ball constantly. But there were deficiencies in Jeremy's game, and now they're much better. And what I'm saying to you is there still are deficiencies. There are still things Jeremy can improve. And so what you do now, no matter how many minutes you get or how many touches you get, keep improving those things, because you will have the opportunity in the future to play more and to show what you can do, even if it's not right here, right now. Work, and then you're going to get there, and you'll be ready for it. That's what he's doing. And I said, so of course I care about today. I mean, sure, I want Jeremy to score 30 points and have 10 assists every game, but it's not reality. It's not realistic. It's not, we can't rewind the DVR back to insanity. We have to focus on now, and particularly we have to focus on the future. And that means improve Jeremy. Get Jeremy to the best version of Jeremy as quickly as possible, and make him as complete of a player as possible, because then he'll be there, and he can, when he gets his chance, he'll be ready, and then there's no looking back. And we're still on that curve. We're still progressing towards that point. I'm not worried about today. I'm not worried about shot attempts, minutes played, touches, because he's subject to whatever Clifford wants to do. I just want Jeremy to get better and improve. And that's what he did today. And that's why I'm happy, because the time's going to come where he's going to have the opportunity to do more. And I want him to be completely prepared for that. And he's getting there. And today was a step forward in that direction. And that's it. That's why I'm so happy. That's why I feel the way I feel. I'm not trying to take anything away from how anybody else feels, but that's how I feel. And I'm just looking forward to the future. Look, I think there's a good chance that he won't be in Charlotte next year, and it won't be the right situation for him in the grand scheme of things. Even though he likes his teammates like him. Clifford is a good coach, even if people aren't happy with how he's using JLin right now, and so on. But so what? Okay, it's a stepping stone. then in that instance. Great. Let it be a positive stepping stone instead of the nonsense of the last 3 years. Okay, maybe it's a stepping stone, but it can still be a good experience. And Jeremy, he loves Steve and Silas, the assistant coach. He works with them, it seems like, every single day that they have practice. Well, good. Great. So, that's what I'm saying. It's like if you're in college, you're in college and you're taking classes and you're working to become the professional that you're going to become. Well, you might not get to be a star every single day when you're in college, but you're getting better. You're preparing for the future. And that's how I see JLin right now. Okay, the professor or the classmates they're not going to put Jeremy on the pedestal right now. He doesn't have the stage and the microphone. Doesn't matter. He's getting better. He's learning more. When he gets out there and he graduates, he's going to be ready for it. That's the way I view the situation. And that's, like I said, that's why I'm happy. I love the way he played today. He played great. And he played within himself, and he played in the flow. He played relaxed. He played smart. He maximized what he's good at doing in this game, and he minimized certain tendencies that he can have when he's not playing at his best, like the turnovers. He just eliminated that. That's it. The more disciplined he can become in playing in that way, the better he's going to be, and the sooner he's going to be better. So, that's it. That's all I have to say. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Your comments below. We want to thank Gary Chen for the artwork you're looking at right now. Gary is a blogger and artist in Taiwan. He's also a member of the JLin Garden fan group. We want to thank both of those entities for letting us use this work. You can learn more about Gary and JLin Garden in the video description below the video player. You'll find links so you can go and check out more about them. Also in the video description, information about highlights of this game, and finally there, information about how you can join the Conservative New Media Facebook group and how you can come and follow us on Twitter as well. Once again, I am PFE Paul Real, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 JLin YouTube fan channel. Look, an excellent win. Team had to win this game. They had to win this game, and they were able to do that when it mattered down the stretch. I love the way JLin played. I forgot to do the woo, so I'll do it now. Woo! This was a big win. Like I said, this is another step forward in JLin's journey to become the player that he's capable of becoming. Look, I hope Mike D'Antoni gets hired like next year and JLin goes to that team and we go right back to Linsanity. But it would be like Linsanity plus, because Jeremy's so much better now than he used to be. So I'm not trying to pour water on people's hopes here or anything. I have the same hopes as everybody else. I'm just taking more of a long-term view of it rather than instant results. And so I really like what I saw from Jeremy today, and I love the way that he played. So that's it for now. Take care. Hope you're having a great night or great day wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. We will speak to you again soon. Again, powerful Warriors coming up next on the schedule. Can't wait to that game. I just want to see how the team does. And hopefully Al Jefferson will be able to go in that game. So see you in a couple days. Wish you all the best between now and then.